Hello and welcome. I'm so excited to host this summit with over 35 plus amazing speakers. So, welcome to Return to the Root Summits. And we created this because we all feel unrooted. We feel like we're floating. We feel like we're just going from day to day, in and out. So, we need to find our roots. And that's what this summit is all about. So, welcome. Our next guest is Molly. Hi, Molly. Good morning. Yes, I have a presentation to introduce. Molly is a coach. Coach Molly is amazing. She stands for lifelong learning. I've never met anyone like Molly who stands for lifelong learning for herself and for others and her students. She just loves and gives from her heart. And she stands for healing nervous system first. She's not about how we push content and learn more content and information. She's not that. She wants to get your nervous system ready before that she teaches or coaches anything. So it's amazing. She trades quick fixes for rooted solution. There's no quick fixes, right, Molly? Is there?
There's no quick fixes.
No. And she's going to talk about that. And I'm excited to find out about that. And the next one, she sees depression as a not as a weakness, but as what? And that's exactly what her presentation is about. And I'm excited to find out, Molly. Please share with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, everyone. And for those watching the replay, thank you, because I know you are here looking and wanting more. And I know this week is going to give you that. So I'm not here to fix anything, to teach you really anything. And I'm not here to share you this big sob story or anything. I'm really just here to share with you what I've lived, what I've learned, and I hope you feel connected and heard by some of this. So I want you to know that shutdown doesn't always look like falling apart. Sometimes it's actually smiling through pain. It's smiling through this mask of happiness. And sometimes it's literally curling up on the closet floor or locking yourself in the bathroom where no one can see you. And I'd love to know if that hits a nerve with anyone, if that resonates with any of you, if you have felt shut down and your lights actually dim. So my lights dimmed when my parents divorced when I was 12. And I was one of four siblings. I have an older brother and sister. My brother passed away this last fall, and my younger sister is 8 years younger. So I went from in the baby of the family to a middle child. And then when my parents divorced, my older brother and sister went to go live with my dad. So it split the family right in half. And I actually became like the eldest sibling. So my mom remarried fairly quickly. And that's when abuse started through the form of control, manipulation, narcissistic behavior, and even some sexual abuse. But we looked great from the outside. Anybody looking in people would comment on how nice my mom and stepdad were. And that led me to feeling really guilty at the thoughts that I had because I didn't feel the same way. And I kept wondering what was wrong with me. And I have a real peacemaker personality. And my goal was to make others happy, not rock the boat. So going through all this, I literally froze. That was my method of operation. That was my survival technique, was to freeze. I wasn't really allowed to be angry. During high school, what I did to survive was just throw myself into activities. All the activities that I was allowed to do, could do, I threw myself in because that meant less time having to be at home. And when I went to college, which was an incredibly happy day, I thought, wow, I could leave all this behind. But you and I know that behaviors that have formed, behaviors, patterns that are entrenched are going to stay there until we change them. So I went through college, I did really well, but I developed an eating disorder and I had an ulcer. So I had difficulty making decisions. I had a hard time saying no to things because I wasn't taught boundaries. And I got married and I thought I could live within the confines of what was expected to me in my marriage. And after a couple years, cracks really formed and we got divorced. And it was a real rocky time for a few years. I went through counseling, I was depressed, I even had a suicide attempt, but all the while holding down my job and looking very happy because that's how I survived. I eventually met my current husband, and I'm excited to share that we've been married for almost 30 years. This September will be 30 years, and we have two adult children. But as my kids were growing up, I just felt a lot of stress. I felt a lot of judgment. I was in a lot of fear because I just kept wondering what shoe was going to drop, what was going to happen, how was I going to fail, what was I going to screw up. And yet people always perceive me as being happy, but on the inside, I just felt like this frightened little girl. And in dark times, I would lock the bathroom door or go curl up on the floor in the closet. I ended up going on antidepressants and going through counseling, and it was helpful, but I kept feeling like things were connecting, like there were dots missing or a puzzle piece missing. And I am thrilled to share with you now that I feel like those puzzle pieces, it's there, it's connected, the dots have connected. And I'm actually off my antidepressants, and it's, oh my gosh. And I want you to think of a time that maybe you felt like the lights were dimming, that you had those dark times. And I've realized that these are the systems that have collapsed, that had collapsed, that I have now been able to heal. So, my nervous system, I was always in some sort of flight or freeze mode. I was not a good fighter. That was not my MO. So, I was into freezing or fleeing. Okay. And I finally realized that a couple years ago, and it was just amazing. All of a sudden, I could just feel this weight come off of going, oh my gosh, wow, I had no idea I was stuck in that. My emotional system, this suppression of feelings, and then outbursts followed by a lot of guilt and shame. My hormonal system was dysregulated because I ended up having a lot of fibroids and a hysterectomy. My sensory system was so on overload and shut down when I could literally curl up on the closet floor or lock myself in the bathroom. My belief system, just constant shame about my past and negative self-talk that reflected in weight issues. And I could just go up and down and just had a lot of food issues that I hid really well. My executive system, avoiding confrontation like the plague. Anything I was scared of, I would run or try and have somebody else do it or not do it at all. So I want to know if that resonates with any of you, if you recognize any of those patterns in yourself. So there's a lot of things as a coach, a lot of tools that I've developed that I've been taught that have helped me move from shutdown to safety. Things like talking to my brain, learning to talk to my brain, breathing exercises, tapping, energy reset, sound therapy, vagus nerve reset. This has helped me understand why I shut down. And when I understood the why and recognized the patterns, I could release and retrain my brain. And so getting off my antidepressants was huge and actually staying off them. Even this last week, I look at things that happen and I go, wow, I handled that so differently than I would have a couple years ago or even a year ago. So learning these tools was actually my doorway back. And it can be your doorway back. It's always available for you. What I thought was weakness was actually my nervous system protecting me the best way it knew how. What if this is true for you? What if this is true for your child? So these are things that I feel like I've learned the hard way, and I wish it didn't take so long because I'm 63 now. But I'm so thankful to be able to share these things now with you and with my clients so that hopefully you can learn these tools sooner and implement them sooner. So we are going to try a vagus nerve set together. And I know we just did one with our previous speaker, but this one's different. And I love having different ones. And there's so many different ways to help reset your vagus nerve. And I'll tell you a really fun one is just laughing. Anytime you can put on a funny show, laugh at whatever it is, laughing is, they say laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is a great one for your vagus nerve as well. So getting your kids to laugh and being outside. But your vagus nerve is actually the longest nerve in your body. And of course, it comes down from your brain through your nerve cord, and it connects to every organ in your body, which is just amazing because that's what it does. And your vagus nerve, sometimes I liken it to rush hour traffic. I live in the Seattle area, so I know what rush hour traffic is, and I'm sure you do too. It's like you just can't get anywhere and you're stuck and things move very slowly. And this is what happens when our vagus nerve is on overload. And what we want our vagus nerve to do is run freely, where you can just zoom 60 miles an hour down the freeway and you're like, whoa, this is great. Okay. So, a really simple technique is to sit up nice and tall. You can actually do this on the floor. You can do this lying in bed. You can do this at a stoplight. I have my students do it together in my classroom, which is great. It's such a good way to start the class. So, you want to take your hands and put them behind your neck. And again, just take a nice deep breath in and exhale. And you want to move your eyeballs to the left. And just move your eyeballs to the left. And you'll feel yourself take a deep sigh or a deep breath. And as you practice this, it'll happen quicker. And then you're going to move your eyeballs forward once you feel like you've taken that nice deep breath. And then move your eyeballs to the right. And again, you'll feel yourself take that nice deep breath. And you'll move your eyeballs back and just take your hands out. And you'll go. Just that relaxing feeling. And again, the more you practice it, the easier it gets. And I want you to know there's so many things, again, that you can do. That's just a real simple one. As I mentioned, laughter, getting little kids to wave their hands and actually windmill up in the air is another really good one with kids. Okay. So these things are really simple to do. And how easy is that, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. So I want you to know that maybe you're feeling stuck and feeling just depressed or shut down, but I want you to know you're not broken. You may just be a little burned out. And that shutdown is protection. It's not failure. So, what if your child, as you're looking at your child, isn't giving up, but actually sending you a message? What if their procrastination, their avoidance, their eye rolls, their attitude, their tummy aches aren't giving up, but actually a sign of system collapse? So these are samples that I've seen in my clients: procrastination, avoidance, stomach aches, headaches, migraines, arguing, yelling, bulimia, anorexia, stories. What if we learned that these are signals and we actually get to the root cause and give them tools to help bring them back? And I'm going to encourage you to give your child one safety signal this week to actually look beyond that yelling, that avoidance, that procrastination, and give them a pause to actually respond instead of react, to give them a soft eye, a soft voice, to do a vagus nerve reset with them, to do some laughter. You don't need to change your whole life. You don't need to wave the magic wand. As I said, there are no quick fixes here. You just need to recognize one signal and respond with softness. It's not fixing, it's rerouting. And what I know now is that there's a system out of place when a child shuts down, or when I shut down, or when you shut down. And there are simple tools that we can use to bring us out of that shutdown, out of that overwhelm, and being back to grounded and connected. These are tools that work for all ages. It doesn't matter if you're 3 or if you're 103. And these are not band-aids, but they actually get to the root and actually heal because we're retraining our brain. Can you imagine giving your child the tools they need to be the happy, confident learners they deserve to be? Because it's not about fixing, it's about rerouting. And again, I want to remind you that you're not broken. You're burned out. I was. The lights can return, and collapse is not the end, but actually the threshold of return, because your light and your child's light deserves to burn brightly. And I've developed an actual ebook or a PDF on depression busters. And so you can, I'm really excited to share this because it was like, these are things that helped me so much. And I just wanted to share those with you. So you can go to my website at www.mollyherd.com. I was so excited to get my own name there and actually download my ebook. And you can connect with me through my website as well.
I love it, Molly. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing and opening up and being vulnerable. You really made us feel like you trusted this space. So thank you so much for that. So I want to ask anyone watching, the audience, if they have any questions for Molly while I talk to her. We do have a journal, and I listed some questions that you can reflect from what she has shared. So one thing that stood out to me for someone who also suffered many of the stuff that you shared today is the fact that we have to pretend to the world that we're okay. And we need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that. Because there's no way that anyone can help anyone else by pretending. Pretending is not just a false security. It didn't help me or you because I ended up also trying to kill myself and you tried. And we need to model that to our young generation because a lot of them currently with the current how we live and how we act and how we doing things, they may be at that place as well, silently.
Absolutely.
Share with me.
Absolutely. It was just interesting. Yesterday, I was doing a hike and I met a gal at the top of this mountain and we started talking and I could tell just from her voice what she was sharing with me that she had been through some depression and was going through some depression. And I just looked at her and I said, don't let your light go out. You are on the right path. And she just looked at me and she just teared up. And it was just a moment where you can recognize and uplift somebody instead of tearing them down.
We need to listen and we need to read the signals they're giving us. Like you talked about signals to parents to read them. And sometimes we're all busy, right? But the signals are why they need to be, you need to observe them and really pick up on that. Thank you, Molly. Thank you so much for being here. There is a question. What is a signal that I should watch out for in myself when I'm feeling sad?
Oh, that's a good one. For me, when I am feeling sad, one of the things I do is in terms of talking with my brain is I just go, Molly, why are you feeling sad? I connect with myself. And I've learned to go, what is it that I need? Why am I feeling sad? And to not feel guilty for feeling sad and to not feel ashamed for feeling sad. I think sometimes we're taught to feel ashamed to feel sad and depressed. And it's, oh no, sadness is an emotion that we are given. And so we need to be okay with that. And then once you are like, okay, I am feeling sad. That's okay. So why am I feeling sad? And look at that and listen to yourself. And then
Absolutely.
you can go, oh, okay. And
Yes.
figure out, yeah, and move on.
Absolutely. So in the workbook, the journal, I provided so many prompts to look at how Molly has presented some of her wisdom here. There's a lot coming at you guys, so make sure to look at that journal and make sure to go back and write it. And also, I will provide Molly's link as well, and you should grab that buster. What was it called? Depression buster?
Person busters.
Busters.
Fun, something fun, but also dealing with something that's very real and honest. And it's hard because I'm really fun loving by nature. I love to have fun. I love to laugh. I love to smile. And I'm really thankful because that carried me through, right? But also it's wow, underneath there is some issues there. So if we can learn to deal with those in real simple ways and acknowledge it, then we're going to be able to change our brain patterns and move forward. Because
Yes.
that's what
And
you have taught us. It's really about changing those brain patterns. That comes back to rerouting, regrounding, connecting.
yes. And you've shared amazing exercises for that as well. So I want to come back to that statement I started when you came in. Molly is a you're a lifelong learner. I don't think I've ever met anyone like you. Like you just love learning and you want that for your students and the people that you work with. But why you stand and believe for that is that you want a safety and trust to come first before performance because we so push the performance, we're so driven by that, but we forget the safety and connection. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Because I've watched anxiety just go through the roof in my students. That is, whoa. That is one of the big reasons why I became a coach. And I was so thankful to connect with you because I'm like, there has got to be something more we can do here. This is a pandemic here. Yeah.
We got to do something, and we're doing something about it. This is not about blaming anybody or anyone or anything. This is just doing something about it, and we can do it
Yeah.
beautifully without blaming anyone because blame doesn't do anything then other than divert all the attention to somewhere else. But if we can divert everything back to us, then we can do something about it. So thank you, Molly, for what you do. Thank you for being a great coach. We will see you in the next session.
Thank you.